60 Minutes Rewind.
We Americans remember how Iran humiliated us by capturing our embassy and holding 52 of our countrymen hostage for 444 days. And Iranians remember how America supported the Shah, whom they hated and eventually overthrew. Even though that was 18 years ago, the Speaker of Iran's parliament still calls America a blood-sucking wolf, and House Speaker Newt Gingrich calls Iran the most dangerous nation on earth. Iran's president, Hashmi Rafsanjani, told me he'd like to tone down that rhetoric. Rafsanjani rarely gives interviews to Western journalists, but he spoke with us partly because he wants to improve relations between Iran and America. As for President Clinton, he has shown little enthusiasm for talking to Iran.
You know what the president says. Iran, the state of Iran sponsors terrorism because you're killing dissidents. You've killed them in Germany, in France, in Iraq, in Turkey.
These are all claims. Many of them are not true. In some cases, they have been distorted.
Well, shall I leave with you this list of people who have been either killed, assassinated, or seriously injured by your people, your so-called terrorists?
Inside the United States, people who have been against the government, have they never been killed? What about those people in Waco who all burned to death?
What about those 241 American Marines who were killed in Beirut 13 years ago, apparently by Hezbollah? Iran created Hezbollah and, with Syria, continues to finance and coordinate its activities against Israel. And a Western intelligence report says in the last year, Iran has sent 30 plane loads of weapons to Hezbollah. The president found that report somehow amusing.
Humanitarian assistance is what those planes that you are talking about provide.
Missiles, humanitarian assistance, rockets.
You think those missiles launched there are not available in Lebanon? These are all Russian weapons, stocked in Lebanon from the old days.
President Rafsanjani is Iran's most popular politician. He came up the hard way. He was imprisoned and tortured under the Shah. Now, at age 62, Rafsanjani is considered a moderate. But so far, hardline religious leaders have blocked his efforts to improve relations with the U.S., and President Clinton hasn't helped. He slapped a U.S. trade embargo on Iran. The White House complains that Iran is doing all it can to scuttle the Mideast peace process.
You get in the way of the peace process that is okayed by King Hussein of Jordan, that is okayed by Mubarak and Egypt, that has been okayed by many, many Palestinians. You are more Palestinian, sir, than the Palestinians.
We have said we do not consider this peace a fair peace. And this peace process will not succeed because it has not addressed the issue of refugees.
Who knows more about the right of the Palestinian, Hashmi Rafsanjani or Yasser Arafat?
We are not alone. Many Palestinians speak like us. They also take action. We do not take any action.
But the U.S. says Iranian money may have helped pay for these bombings of Israeli buses and markets that killed 61 civilians last year. Iran denies it. Rafsanjani condemns America's support of Israel and what he calls America's heavy-handed foreign policy, and most Iranians agree with him. We spoke with hikers up in the Elburz Mountains outside Tehran, where residents of the capital like to go on their day off.
You know, what we feel about you, about the United States, that you want to control every country, every policy, every movement, everything.
You really believe that?
We really believe in that.
For instance?
For example, about Iraq. If Iraq wants to capture Kuwait, it's none of America's business.
And she thought it was none of our business how Iranian women dress. But still, she explained the dress code which requires women to cover all but their faces with dark, loose-fitting clothes.
Do you resent the fact that you have to wear
No, I believe in it.
You do? Why?
Yeah, I do. I believe that all a woman's beauties are to be limited in for one's family.
But off camera, several women told us that most of them do resent having to wear those clothes. themselves, but they were afraid to complain about anything on camera.
We shouldn't talk anything about politics. You should know. But
this is a free country.
I mean, it's a free country. Okay. It's a free country for you.
Iran is a tricky story for a television reporter because what you see may be less important than what you cannot see. Beyond the dress code, single people are not allowed to date. No one is allowed to drink alcohol. But behind closed doors and drawn curtains, many unmarried Iranians still have parties, even though they risk a fine and a night in jail if they get caught.
How do you reconcile the public and private lives of your women? In private, you know this. Many of them wear revealing clothes. Many of them, of a certain class, drink whiskey, alcohol. And they mingle with men freely. And you know it's true. Doesn't the Islamic Republic force some of its women, anyway, to be hypocritical in the lives they live?
There are some people who do not believe in our laws. We can tell them to observe the dress code in the street. This is required by law. But in their homes, we can have no influence on them. They do what they want. We know there are many people like this.
The sexes are kept so separate that men get on the front of the bus, women get on in back. Still, life for women is getting better. Women have more chances in both education and employment. These students at the Foreign Language Institute hope to become interpreters.
You find this young man attractive, or one standing over there. Would there be a problem going to the movies together?
Well, just talking is okay, no problem, but nothing more.
But in Iran, as in America, people care most about the economy. The capital, Tehran, looks better than ever. It's clean and prosperous, with new buildings sprouting up all over. America's trade embargo has had little effect because America's allies, France and Germany, are gobbling up contracts that would have gone to U.S. companies. So oil money keeps pouring in. Under the watchful gaze of the late Ayatollah Khomeini, who led the revolution against the Shah, the government has built highways and hospitals and schools in rural villages that never had them before. But in the cities, prices, especially food prices, are so high and wages so low that people often have to work at 2 or even 3 jobs just to make ends meet. In fact, many young people don't have enough money to get married. So more Iranians are resorting to what are called temporary marriages. They get a signed certificate from their local religious leader that declares them married for as little as 1 day, 1 week, 1 month.
There are many people who need to satisfy their instincts on a temporary basis.
For 1 day, or 1 week, or 1 month?
Whatever the length of time.
It sounds like legitimizing illicit sexual relations.
No, there is an order to it. Psychologically, this is a legal act, not a forbidden act that everyone is afraid of.
But there is still plenty of fear in Iran. Students told us if they criticized the government, they'd be thrown out of the university.
We don't like to talk about politics at all.
Really? Why?
That's right. Well, because it's dangerous. Why to talk about politics?
It's dangerous?
Sure.
We saw what she meant when we were confronted by some fundamentalist students who demanded to know what we'd been up to.
I'd like to know about your question that you asked our students here.
Sir, it is none of your business.
They objected to our having talked about author Salman Rushdie, who is still targeted for assassination by Iran because of a book he wrote 9 years ago that they feel slandered Islam.
If I face with Salman Rushdie myself, I murder him because he doesn't respect Islamic religion.
Because he's not a human being at least. Because he was a person who destroyed our culture.
It seems to me that your culture has survived Salman Rushdie.
The story will continue after this.
Now the hardliners believe their culture is under aerial attack. Government murals warn people not to be seduced by evil influences from private satellite dishes.
The government here banned private satellite dishes about a year ago because they were becoming alarmed at the huge enthusiasm young Iranians were showing for Western television, movies, fashion, the lifestyles that they could see on their television sets. So now Iranians are hiding their illegal satellite dishes outside, behind the bushes, or inside near a window. But the truth is, it will be simply impossible for the government to ban Western influences because they are literally falling from the sky. Do you know what Baywatch is?
No, I haven't seen it.
Young women, very small bathing suits, and there are people who have satellite dishes in Iran who charge their neighbors to go to their place because they still have a satellite dish to watch Baywatch.
It might be so, but you must admit that these kinds of programs cause problems for young people. They weaken the foundation of a family, and they have created problems in the West. And the statistics of women without husbands and children without fathers in the West are terrible.
Are you suggesting that perhaps we should have an Islamic Republic of the United States?
No, I am saying that you should have good ethics. Do not allow perversion in the ethics of your young people.
And Iran is awash in young people. More than half the population now is under 20 years of age. And President Rafsanjani fears they are the most susceptible to the lure of American television.
Things like the Playboy channel or Hollywood films do not help the progress of your country and your people.
How are you familiar with Playboy programs? Do you have a satellite dish, Mr. President?
No, we hear these things. We read these things in reports.
Many Iranians told us they admire America. At least 1/3 of President Rafsanjani's cabinet members were educated in the United States. But Rafsanjani says he cannot convince his colleagues to engage in talks with America unless the U.S. releases frozen Iranian assets. Billions of dollars Iran sent to America to buy weapons. The weapons sales stopped when the Shah was deposed, but the money remained in the U.S.
Let's you and I play a game.
We are not here to play games.
I'm the United States, you're Iran. I give you the money. What do you do for me?
Then we'll be ready to talk to one another.
You serious?
This would be a sign of goodwill. You may choose something else as evidence of goodwill.
But for now, instead of talking to each other, Iran and America keep talking past each other. For example, U.S. officials say their biggest concern is Iran's program to build a nuclear bomb. Iran insists it only wants nuclear energy, not the bomb.
What the Americans did in Hiroshima and Nagasaki has had everybody hate the idea of getting the bomb.
You are not going after a nuclear bomb.
Definitely not.
You swear on Allah.
Swearing is not needed. Those who swear are the ones who want to lie. We are not going after the nuclear bomb, or biological weapons, or chemical weapons.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.